Good morning, chat. Hello. We've got a kind of a rare occurrence, but we are going to be live for what is alleged to be Courtney Clenney, the OnlyFans murdering model, the murderous model from OnlyFans. Yes, Courtney Clenney is an OnlyFans hoe. She is accused of, and well, it sounds like she's taking a plea. She's admitting to murdering her boyfriend and like manager and different things. Christian Obumseli back in 2022. And well, she's going to plead. We don't know what to yet. That's, is it a murder? Is it manslaughter? Is she just going to get a plea out to, is she just going to plea out to, is she going to plea out to, oh, hold on here. Is she going to plea out to littering? We don't know yet. We don't know yet. Is it going to be disorderly conduct? Not sure. It's going to be some sort of felonies of some kind. We do know that Christian is, through his family, they've said, we're actually okay with this. And so we don't know. We don't know yet. If you guys don't know, it's been a little while since we talked about any of this. This is we can do a little bit of a trip down memory lane if you guys don't remember who these people are. And it's a bit of a story here, and nobody started yet. The feeds have not gone on yet. But anyways, this is Courtney and Christian back in the day, and then this is Courtney now. And some of you might say, was she really a thing back then? Who knows? That's every girl in OnlyFans thinks they're a millionaire. But anyway, what happened? Well, Christian and Courtney had a very volatile relationship, from what we know. A lot of domestic violence, kind of going both ways. It's not 100% clear what actually happened with these people. It's not. There's, documentation of Courtney striking and attacking Christian. Certainly, there's also, from what we understand, some instances and things where it appears that Christian may have also been going back and forth. That's pretty standard in relationships. People, the abuse goes both ways. It's not uncommon. So what happened from here? Well, back in April 2022, she claims that she not like threw a knife, like it was like, oh, whatcha, but she, my big black scary boyfriend was going to kill me or hurt me, and I had a knife, and I was like, ha! And she claims she accidentally threw a knife at him. And basically the knife also miraculously just stabbed him right in the chest and killed him. Yeah, I have a feeling that's not exactly how it happened, but that's what she's told police. And that's the reason why she's basically she's been in jail for a couple of years now. Remember, she's been in jail for a while now. So, this is all earned time credit. So she's earned jail credit at this point. So we don't know exactly what she's going to do. We don't know still. We're still waiting. And why won't this open? Sorry, I got an email and I'm like, I want to read you. Holy shit. But we're waiting to see what's going to happen here. We don't know anything else about this case right now. We do know that the defense was going to be bringing in things. They wanted to be ready to talk about Christian's prior domestic violence towards Courtney. It appears there was quite a bit of issues and concerns. It also appears that Christian had, some prior acts in his life and some things he had done where he wasn't exactly the nicest guy in the world. And that is where they, hold on here. There we go. So, anyways, yes, littering and smoking the reefer, yes. Stop making me register, says she's so gross. I mean, it's not that she's gross. It's just a lot of women on OnlyFans are just like, meh. It's just they whip out their boobies and their hoo-has and people like it. So uh, it is interesting there. And oh my gosh, this is kind of funny. People actually like they're buying memberships and like super chatting Court TV. It's like they don't care about you. Who bought all the subs? Did somebody just do a big old sub drop? That's actually interesting. You're like, well, huh. It's like sipping for Court TV like that. It's surprising she was doubling down that she was the victim. Not really, Haven. She's got no other choice. I mean, if she doesn't double down that she's a victim, she's going to prison. And it sounds like she's going to prison now, but you have to. Like, there's no, oh, okay, and they just let you go. So, no, it makes sense that totally she had to do what she had to do there. KLF saying also, happy actual birthday. Yes. Yes. Thank you very much. Yes, it is actually today my birthday. And yes, Chugi says her parents were facing charges for something. Yes. So apparently Christian had a laptop and Courtney and her parents, alleged by the state, had kept it and got information off of it. And ultimately, Courtney and her parents were initially charged with basically evidence tampering because that's, Christian's property and also potential evidence that was never given to the police. That actually led to a whole series of events where the state's attorney who was involved in that case and part of this Courtney Clenney stuff basically got tossed out of the job. And there's an entire, basically a whole corruption issue attached to that just completely disintegrated everything. That guy is no longer on the case. I think he even got fired from the prosecutor's office there. But those charges against Courtney were dismissed and thrown out. The charges against her parents were thrown out. So that's all gone now. And it was very flaky. There were some issues about how they went about trying to secure these charges too. It was really bad all around. And the way it all unfolded, it was just like, I can't believe, I can't believe that these prosecutors did this. It's just like, what? I still don't understand, You don't like Courtney Clenney that much. Like, these people are not worth your job. There's no case. Like, Courtney Clenney, some hoe on OnlyFans, is not worth your job as an attorney. It's not. So, let's see here. Did he beat her? I thought she was the beater. It sounded like some of their apartment staff would have alleged that she was doing the attacking as well. It sounds like it was a two-way street, and that's not uncommon, guys. And he's having a domestic violence situation where, both parties can be aggressors towards each other. And I'm not talking about once the fighting starts, they start fighting. But having a volatile relationship where one party, they're both aggressors and it's not uncommon. That's actually a very, believe it or not, that's a very common dynamic where, they both instigate domestic violence towards each other. That's, my experience. That's not, you're like, yeah, it's pretty clear they're both beating on each other. Now, generally speaking, does only one party usually get caught? Yes. But, that's just the nature of it. Generally speaking, only one person gets caught usually. Let's see here. When you run out of trial coverage, can we do an EDP documentary watch party? Sure. JDK says yes. She threw a knife like a football from 20 feet away, and the knife buried itself several inches into his chest. Totally believable. Yeah. And Brewberry says he never realized how much of a difference eyelash extensions make until they're gone. Brewberry says Sean's going to call me a mean girl again. I mean, I will say the women that are on this channel who watch stuff, sometimes you guys are pretty mean. I'm just like, she's just she's a murderer. She's a bad person. You guys are like, oh my God. Can you believe how I'm like, Jesus. I'm doing that. Anyways, I forgot to introduce myself real quick. Guys, welcome to the show. My name's Sean, also known as Potentially Criminal. I'm an attorney out of Ohio, licensed attorney. Actually, just moved to Florida, getting ready to take the Florida bar. But today, you know, like I said, we got Courtney Clenney. Where is she at here? It's still, not even Court TV is going live. Yeah, nobody's, I don't think anybody's live with us right now. Let's see here. Let's see. Come on. Nope, nobody's. I don't think anybody's got it yet. So, they do have. We do have some.
Now to an update, the family of Christian Obumseli.
You want this pause? Just let me pause. Jeez, YouTube. It's very sad we won't do the state's knife throwing expert witness. Oh, they need the I was hoping they were going to get that guy from I think he's from Czechoslovakia. I mean the Czech Republic. Adam Cheladin, he's the guy here on YouTube. He throws knives for fun. He's got a knife throwing channel. It'd be nice if they just bring in like a carnival expert. And it's like, well, I can even make the thing spin. And he's just the physics in the Roadrunner cartoons more believable, yes. Well, yes, there was also the animal abuse stuff against him that he basically let a dog die in his apartment. Although, there's also allegations that dog was a dog. It was Courtney's dog, or Courtney had a responsibility to the dog and kind of foisted it upon him, and he was left holding the bag. So, either way, this entire story, it's all weird all the way around. It's all weird all the way around how this all goes. Before she called 911, she called her mom, which is crazy to me. No. I mean, it's not really. You know, you kill someone. I could see like calling your parent first, and be like, oh my God, what do I do? I mean, remember, she's like a millennial-ish Zoomer. I could see that. I could totally see that. I mean, I could see like a boomer doing that, calling their parents, or a Gen Xer calling their parents first. Like, oh God, what do I do? It's your parents. It's your mom, your dad. I could understand that. Totally, I could understand that. So. Yeah, it's 20 feet if she was using all the porn industry measuring. Yes. Yes, that is doesn't Court TV actually show up in other chats? I think so. I just think it's funny, like these people are like, you know, dropping memberships. It's just like, oof. So let's see here. This is unexpected. I think we talked about we were going to watch this today, so I don't know how unexpected it is. Was it your birthday last week and the week before? Not really. I've told you guys every time, but everybody keeps on thinking it's my birthday, so we are. Nice morning voice. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with my voice today. It's not 100%, so sorry. Let's see here. Yes, Philip Coggins. Yes, they had a corruption issue in Miami. If only they had somebody who could have taught them about that. I know. So, but we do have, as far as things are concerned, you probably call 911 first. It's a bad look for sure. Yeah, I agree, Pseudo Snark. Like, I would too, but that it's not really like that's, you know, it's, remember, all of this, these are, every little thing that happens or every little bit of information is a brick. One brick doesn't make a wall. One brick doesn't make a house. But if you have a bunch of bricks of things that she did or said, well, now you have a house. So Remember, it's not just that one thing. It's a bunch of things together. No Mail says, happy 40th. I'm actually 41. So there you go. I've seen Court TV in people's chats. I know Court TV's popped in our chat before. I just think it's interesting that like people are in like Court TV's chat, like dropping memberships and dropping subs. I'm like, I don't know what they did. Like, I don't think they do anything, but I've seen people also super chat Law and Crime in their chat. And I'm like, it's a major corporation. You're giving them money like that. So my extra deep voice is soothing. I'm glad. And then real quick, we have Mystery Sniper for 33 months. Says 33 months, missing 14. Well, that's okay. I just think it's you know, I mean, people, I appreciate everybody being around. I know like the counters are always weird too at times, but that would have been for 47 months, and that goes back a ways. That goes back a ways. So, but real quick, we do have a bit of a thing we can watch here real quick, and this is for Christian Obumseli's family through their representation. They talk about what's going on here.
Now to an update, the family of Christian Obumseli is speaking out one day after his girlfriend, OnlyFans model Courtney Clenney, announced she will take a plea deal in his killing. Clenney is accused of stabbing Obumseli to
It's stabbing him to death, although technically it was one time. So are you really stabbing him to death? It's just like she stabbed him. You know, like just one.
death inside their Miami apartment. CBS News Miami's Nakaya Guerrero is your reporter in Miami as the model will soon learn her fate.
The family of Christian Obumseli have been grieving their son's death since April 2022. Through their attorney, they released a statement about Clenney's decision to take a plea deal in the courthouse behind me.
In less than 2 weeks, Courtney Clenney is scheduled to sit inside a courtroom to learn how much time she will have to serve for the death
of her
on-again, off-again boyfriend, 27-year-old Christian Obumseli. His family's attorney released a statement Saturday that says, I am pleased to announce the defendant Courtney Clenney, the state, and the Obumseli family has reached a resolution that would avoid an unnecessary trial. It goes on to say, the resolution will be made public at a sentencing hearing on August 10th at 10 a.m. Pleading guilty and accepting full responsibility will begin.
Now, is it 10 to 10 to 10 a.m.? It's not clear because information we have says that's not the case. So, because we have it 10 a.m. or the August 10th at 9 a.m. So, shows what we know. Shows what we know, guys. Shows what we know. And where is... Let's see. There we go. Shows what we know. Shows what we know there. But yes, this is, you know, one of the things that's critical in a case when you set a plea is having the victims on board. There we go. We might have got rid of the voice there. In this case, it's not necessarily Christian himself, but his family. Now, do they control, like, if they don't like it at all, does that automatically prevent the plea from going forward? Not by law. But if they didn't like it, could the judge say, well, I'm not accepting this plea? Maybe. But they don't have to agree to it for it to go forward. This is they have the right to be apprised of it. They have the right to consent to it. All those things.
In the process of bringing closure to a very tragic, life-changing event for the Obumseli family. This comes one day.
And that is there. And then Courtney Clenney and her attorneys, they released a statement.
As planned. Her attorney said in a statement.
And they point out that the terms of the agreement are not final until accepted by the court. That's very true. Remember, I've talked about this before. Courts will sometimes reject plea agreements. It all depends. It all depends on your judge. There are times judges will do that, and judge will say, "No, I won't accept this plea. This demeans the seriousness of the offense." Now, generally speaking, you might say, "Well, is it when will the court say they're not accepting the plea?" Generally, I mean, if they haven't told the court, sometimes judges will try to meet with the prosecution and defense ahead of time and say, like, okay, what kind of what are we actually looking at here? And most judges will do that because they'll tell you, I'm going, they'll sometimes say, like, I'm not sure. I don't know if I like this. But if they outright don't want it, or they think it's not correct or what should happen, they'll tell you. I've been in a judge's chambers before many a time where he's like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I've also, though, you're in court and you're talking on the record. Generally speaking, most times you're in court, nobody cares because no one's there. It's you, your client, and the prosecutor. And maybe, like a person from the defendant's family or the victim's family. That's it. So you could sit there and, a lot of times you just talk, you're talking not necessarily on the record. It might be off the record too. What are you guys thinking? Do you guys have a resolution? What are you guys trying to do? And you say, Your Honor, here's what we're proposing. And, yeah, okay. Or sometimes they say, like, absolutely not. Now, could the court accept her plea of guilt and then just go forward on it? Yes. He could accept her plea and say, you know what? I do think this is an acceptable plea. But he could disagree with the resolution. You agreed to 5 years in prison. I don't like that. You're getting 7. You're getting 10. He has every right to do that. There are situations in some states where judges can be bound and their hands can be tied when it comes to certain sentencing situations. At the federal level, there's a handful of circumstances where that can happen. But generally speaking, judges are going to be free to do as they wish on what they want to see happen. So you're a lot of times you're at their mercy, and we'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens. And some of you are going to say, are we going to go right into Lindsay Clancy after this? No, I've got other things I have to do today and later on that I got to get done. So no, we are not doing that. And
Thank you. The hope is that I did speak with Ms. Poe last week.
Might be starting.
I did not think that my case would be closed today. The state had originally offered these. They have to be.
Okay, hold on here. We're going to try to see what we get here.
Friday for video conference. For some reason, he was not brought. Can we reset to August 20th? I'm going to go in person to meet them.
Plea 820.
This is guys, this is part of their docket. They're just going through other cases too. So it's not Courtney Clenney right this second. But the court is stirring. The court is stirring.
Mr. Pittman, good morning. State, what are the guidelines when any plea offer?
So
The defendant scores 273.975 months state prison up to life with 3 10-year firearm minimums in those same cases, Judge. And the state's offer is also 5 years in prison, followed by 10 years reporting probation with special conditions of a stay away order from all the victims in all the cases and restitution.
Ms. Poe?
Your Honor, we have extended a defense counteroffer. I do believe that we should be able to resolve both of these cases. As Mr. Dugo stated, I believe the state wants to close them out at the same time. So
okay, guys, and this is pretty standard. Like, this is actually kind of normal. How do you do stuff? What are you doing? What's going on there? Bob Botta's going to be in the courtroom today. Cool. And Lona Laskin for $2. He says, happy birthday. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, man. Go to sleep. Have a nice night. Thank you so much. And then MLS, making it less simple. Hi, Dave. Dave, Over there, guys, doing all the great work out there, fighting the good fight through Legos and being a lawyer out there. Says it's Sean's birthday. The greatest birthday gift ever would be for Courtney to decide not to plea and to go to trial. I mean, not really, because we've got maybe in like a week and a half or so, we're probably going to start the Tupac murder trial out in Las Vegas. So no, I don't want to compete with everything at once. That would be a little tough. So, but yes, thank you, David, for the super chat for $9,999,999. Thank you. All right, let's see if they're back to it yet.
Ask for the next sounding date, and hopefully the victim is in better conditions at that point in order.
And it sounds like, guys, if I had to guess, Court TV is basically just keeping the camera up, out of the way, until it's showtime, and then when it's when Courtney steps up to the plate, they're going to tilt it back down and get into the game. So there we go. But remember, for some of these people, the funny part about this is these are just regular people with criminal cases. And it's like they've got felony charges pending. And all of a sudden, Courtney, like there's cameras there and it's broadcast all around the world, your pre-trials. It's all open court. So none of this is private information. But think about it. Other than had Courtney Clenney not been on your docket with you today, nobody would ever know about your court case. Nobody would ever know your name. But now these people's names and some of their information is getting blasted out all over the internet. So that is also one of the downsides of when you have court along with a newsworthy criminal action and you're going up first prior to it. I've had this happen before where I've had a client walk in, we walk in and there's cameras setting up and everything, and they freak out because they're like, I don't want everybody knowing my business. And, we have a whole discussion about it. I'm like, everybody's going to know anyway. It's all public record. And then we had to have an issue with that. And again, let's get really upset about all of this. And we go into court and he's like, Your Honor, I don't want to be on the news. The judge says, they're not here for you. He's like, how do I know that? And he actually asked the guy running the camera, like, come on up, sir. Do you know who this man is? And the guy running the camera is like, no. Are you filming him? He's like, no. He's like, I don't know who he is. He's not the guy I'm told to be here for. And my guy was still all upset, and I just asked. I had to turn around and I had to tell him, like, look, do you see the red light on the camera, man? He's like, oh, no, I don't see a red light. I'm like, they're not recording you. He's like, oh, okay. And then when he pled out in front of a room full of like 40 people, which you're like, but if it wasn't being streamed, okay. But there's like 40 people here who know your business now. But that was what he was okay with. And I'm just like, I don't get it. So let's see where they're
Give
at.
it about 10 minutes or so, because I know you all have to do some regrouping. If nobody shows up in that amount of time, we'll just reset it for tomorrow, okay? All right, what are we gonna do, like 3 weeks, huh?
I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Okay, chat, still nothing. Okay, they're in recess. That's also... This is a normal court day. This is how this stuff goes. This is not abnormal at all. Not abnormal at all. That's pretty standard fare. Pretty standard fare here. Her boyfriend might be mad. Well, I'm sure, but hopefully he's in the afterlife and is, forgiving of her now. So yes, the cases have cleared out. Here we go. We're about to get into it. Is her boyfriend going to be okay? I mean, he's with God now and Jesus. So, in the terms of the hereafter, eternally, yeah, he's okay. But for his mortal condition, no, he's not okay. Not okay at all. If that happens, can we get a Kirsha joint stream? Yes. Yes. Oh, she totally wants to do this one if it ever happens. I've talked to her about it. She really wants to do this one. She's like, I really want to cover this. I'm like, I said if it happens, definitely, but I don't there. Philip says it's Florida. They have very pretty open public records laws. Yes, it's the reason why almost all body cam channels. It's Florida, Ohio, and Wisconsin. Each of those states have very liberal public records laws for the most part compared to other states. Let's see here. Steven says, so exciting. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of hurry up and wait. It's a court. I've said this before. Court is like the DMV in the sense of court's like the DMV, and sometimes people go to prison. That's just the nature of the beast. That's the nature of the system here. That it's a lot of hurry up and wait at times, especially in this. The judge is no hurry. She's got her docket. She's gonna have this docket anyway today. She's probably got to take care of some stuff. They probably have to. She needs to take a break. She probably needs to go take a leak. Maybe she's going to take a dump. I don't know. Maybe she needs to go check on her family. Make sure her kids woke up and like, did you mow the yard today? Who knows what she's doing? Is she giving the court deputies and the sheriff's department time to make sure security is proper before they call up Courtney and bring her up? Like, we don't really know what's going on. We don't know what's going on. He'll be all right. Christian got to meet Tupac. Yeah. Yes, God, and as Jeremy Clarkson would say, the baby Jesus. Do you think Courtney Clenney bats for the other team after her stay in prison? I mean, I don't know. It's, in prison and jail, you do what you got to do. So. James says, how long ago this happened? April of 2022. So a little over 4 years ago, almost 4.5 years ago. Mad Chatter says, what is this? Courtney Clenney, the OnlyFans model, is pleading out today, apparently. You mean the DMV itself is in prison? No. May feel like that, but it's not. But no, court is slow. Guys, court doesn't always start on time. All kinds of things happen there. Clients are late. Attorneys are late getting held up in other places. I don't think that's happened here. This is such a big deal, and they scheduled this. I'm sure these attorneys made sure like they aren't stuck in another court or other things have happened or traffic or whatever, that they're actually getting to this right now. Are they starting? Not yet. Not yet. Roscoe says, do I have the day off? Well, I have work and things I've been working on. Like, I'm still my own boss. I've had things I have to do. No, this afternoon, actually, probably after this, starting at about 11, I've got some things I have to get back to. So I can't be here right away the whole time. I've got to take care of some things. Steven says my membership lapsed. Oh, well, that's all right. No worries. No big deal. Thank you, though, for re-upping, Steven. I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you. Thank you so much for rejoining and helping make America green again. That's right, chat. Just no more grays in chat. Just green. Just green. Oh, you might say, but your hair's gray. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. Such is life. Contradictions. And Stephen also says she's a menace to society. I mean, no more than most people in general. It's not like she's a special, she's like, it's not like we're not going to cure cancer if she goes to prison. But is she truly a menace? I don't know, more than the average people in society. Is she indicative of how bad we are off in society? Oh yeah, I could set that argument all day long. That yes, this is also a situation where we can comment on how garbage society is and all the things that have happened and what we don't like and all that. Yeah. Totally agree with you. And oh my gosh, why is this doing this to me? That is entirely what can happen here. And let's see here. That is where is? Sorry, guys. I just got an email. People are like losing their minds, and I'm like, it's only Monday morning. It's 9:30. This is not enough time to panic yet. It's not enough time to panic yet. But people are already losing their minds, and I'm just like, come on, guys. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. You know, now's not the time for fear. That comes later. And let's see what they've got going on here. I may put this on just you guys are the sounds of the courtroom here so we can see. But I think it's all quiet still. Yeah, it's just a courtroom. People are talking. People are having a joke and a smoke. Hey, your attorneys seeing each other, prosecutors are talking. Court deputies might be BSing. Everybody's talking. Everybody's talking about something. Not actually. Once again, that is a sounds of the courtroom. That's pretty standard. Pretty standard. With OnlyFans suspending your account, they are missing out on the hole that was left by Orange is the New Black. Yeah, but that's the thing. Remember, where we were in 2022, I don't know in 2026 if it happened now, would OnlyFans have suspended her account? Maybe. She can be looking at the file again. There's not a whole lot for her to look at. There have been a bunch of filings that have been done for Courtney's case, but she doesn't have discovery herself. She doesn't really have any information about the case. So for her to be looking at it, it's not really going to help her too much. I understand what you're getting at, Haven. I don't think in this situation it does too much for her to look at all of that. Yes, David Sorensen says, Courtney agrees to plea after I moved to Florida. Coincidence? I think not. No. Keep your mouth shut. Jefferson says, for $2. Thank you, Jefferson. Is this a stressful part or a relief for counsel? Very much like Alec Baldwin tells us in Glenn Ross. Until she, you have to get her to sign on the line, which is dotted. And even then, until sentencing, and that's the thing, we don't know about sentencing. Is she going to plea and get sentenced immediately? Because maybe it's to time served or to a definite sentence or something. We don't know anything about it. So there's all kinds of things here, but yes, I've had clients say, yes, we're going to plea. And I call up the court and says, hey, you call up the bailiff. You're like, hey, we got a plea set. Let's, I got time in my schedule. Can we do it like Monday morning? And we're set for trial Tuesday. All right, we're coming into plea. And we come in and my client's like, nah, we ain't doing this. I thought about it. I'm like, you're like, wait, hold on now. You're like, we met on, you see your client on Friday and he's like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Or he calls you, says, yeah, we're going to do it. I'm like, cool. And then you check in on him over the weekend. Like, I'll go out over the weekend and we'll sit down and talk. Has happened. Sunday night, gets a free time, run out to the jail, talk to a guy. Or if they're out and they're out on bond, you talk to them over the phone. And that's, you sit there and talk to them, man, like, you understand what we're doing. Here's how it's going to go. Cool. I'll see you Monday morning. And they show up and they're like, yeah, I've been thinking about it. I don't want to plea. And I'm just like, what? and partially you're kind of worried because in your mind, you're like, oh my God, judge is going to think I'm an asshole. I drug him out here. Not really. They know it's not your fault. Obviously, you're not going to lie and say, oh, we've got a plea and then be like, psych. But you do understand, they understand that these guys, clients are squirrely. They're flaky. Courtney could withdraw it. But yes, it's kind of stressful because until she signs a plea document, it's not a done deal. And to be fair, even then, after she signs it, she can always try to withdraw her plea. But yes, I mean, it's stressful, but it's more of like the antagonizing stress. You're like, all right, come on. Like, the sooner they start, the sooner she can plea, and the sooner they can kind of lock it down. Because if they wait, the longer this drags on, that's longer for Courtney to have an independent thought and say, maybe I want to change my mind right now. And you don't want that. I mean, if you're gonna plea, you're gonna plea. So I guess in a way, yes, it's stressful, but it's not the yeah. Melanie says, when the trial starts at Tupac, are you going to cover it? Yes, but remember, they're starting like jury selection today, so we're not going to watch. Even if we could see it, it's going to be the camera staring at the ceiling, and we're not going to watch that. We're going to watch Lindsay Clancy until the Tupac trial starts. The Mad Chatter says, wait, women showing their jiggly bits on screen for money. When did this start? Yes, I know. It's a new trend. It's a new trend sweeping across the internet. Never before. Mad Chatter says, when did you move to Florida? I moved to Florida at the beginning of June. So I've been here about 2 months now. It's nice. It's nice. How do you know she isn't being transferred to court like an escape like the A-Team? That would be hilarious if she did, or like in yes. She had a DUI arrest video. Yes, Courtney Clenney's, imagine that, being a bit of a crazy woman, having run-ins with the law. It's like, you're really surprised? I'm not. Sounds of a Courtroom is a terrible album. Yes. But sadly, Billy Joel did take up, he already used the title scenes from an Italian restaurant. So, what are you going to do? You got to pick a label. Yes. And she's previously on video attacking him, but there are also people who witnessed, and that's like staff where they live in the apartment complex. Oh, here we go.
Break, and when everyone is assembled, corrections and everyone, we can come back out and take care of that.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I got you.
All right, guys, it's getting close to time. If we're doing all this, we're getting close. We are getting super close because they're going to bring Courtney in through the doors, and she'll come sit here in the jury box, at least initially, and then they'll start. But that's a good sign if they're telling the cameraman to get ready, because they recognize when it's time. I'm trying to curse the plea by telling the stories. Yes. Yes. Jury selection is the most important part of the trial. It is, but we don't get to see it. Because remember, the juries are private. In that regard. We don't want to publish their identities. They're going to speedboat her to Cuba. Well, that would be funny. Say, is this the woman that kept hitting her lawyer? No, you're thinking of Taylor Shabusiness up in Wisconsin. She's the one where, like, her boyfriend's head was in a crock pot. Yeah, no, that's a different person. James 6656 for 5 membership, 5 subs. We'll get a Clyda Woo to start the day. That's right. We got Clyda wooing. American Dreamer says, like sardines in there. Yes, remember, courtrooms are very small. They're not normally built for videography or theatrical purposes, they're meant to be courtrooms. And this is true all over America. You guys comment on how run down these places are. That too. That's a very common thing as well. Courtrooms, this one's a very neat, nice shape. Maybe one day I'll be in this courtroom at some point with a client. But for now, you can see a lot of court deputy staff, a lot of people getting ready. Courtrooms are small. The idea of the Johnny Depp courtroom or other courtrooms that's the newer trend of them being ready and available, but not as a tradition. You don't have, it takes up a lot of room. And if you need to put 25 courtrooms in a building, they're all generally going to be small, not grande. Was that Blade? Yes, that's exactly. He's coming there to kill her. We got to see some jury selection in Donna Adelson case, which was really interesting. It is. Jury selection is an interesting thing, but I understand a lot of courts just saying, nope, we're not doing any of it. And I understand that because, people have a concern about keeping their identities protected. You have my mom in a building. Well, I mean, she lives in a house and she goes to work. So yeah, I mean, she's going to be in a building. So, I mean, I guess nice try. Ag biochemist, good morning. He's like, arrest her. Yes. Yes. But anyways, guys, everybody is spilling in and getting ready. Here we go. Commando Kodiak says that's dark. But it's my building. Well, I congratulate you on being a landlord and developing rental properties. So good for you. Is your mom in Florida? I will not discuss her location, but no, they're not in Florida right now. They have a house. They live in Florida, yes, but they're not here. Did we get a charge/sentence prediction? No, because we're not sure what it could be. I think it's going to be some sort of manslaughter, if I had to guess. We'll see, though. We don't really know. Spud Gun. I did not see your super chat. I'm sorry. Spud Gun for £5 sterling. The King Sterling says, "Happy birthday, Sean." Thank you. Is the OnlyFans a toll payer? Is she getting the chair? No, she's not. I mean, although to be fair, she's getting a sentence out of this and getting punished. So you could argue it's already been paid. It's already been paid at this point. So let's see here. You're a good man, Sean. I don't know about that, but I try. Steven, you're saying murder 15 years? Not sure. I mean, we don't know what it is yet. This is Bald Eagle saying, why would it be manslaughter? When you throw a knife, you know you're going to kill somebody. That's not the issue. You can agree to make things lesser. It was in the heat of passion. But also, they're making a plea because not going to trial is in everybody's interest. Prosecutor doesn't really want to take this to trial and risk losing it. It's going to be an albatross of a case. The defense doesn't want to go to trial because they're probably going to lose, and also it's an albatross of a case. So you can agree to whatever you want. They could agree to disorderly conduct. They could agree to littering. They could agree to amend this to speeding if they wanted to. You can establish facts, like in a drug case. You can do what's called legal fiction, where you guys can agree that, no, he didn't have 25 pounds of marijuana on him. He only had a little baggie of marijuana on him. And you guys can change that, and then it becomes no big deal. So that's not uncommon to do this stuff. It's not uncommon to do this stuff here. So, yes, Joe says, whoa, this is live. I bet it's manslaughter. It could be 10 years. I think it's going to be something like that if I had to guess, to get Courtney to plea, because think about it. She's already done 4 years. 4.5 years, 40% down. What I mean by an albatross, I mean, it's just this ungainly, like the saying, like it's an albatross around your neck. It's just a complete burden. It's going to be a disaster in that regard. I mean, is that not a thing you guys say over in Britain, an albatross? It's going to be an albatross around your neck. Someday you're moving there to be a burden to your son. Mad Chatter says, what is actually she accused of? She is accused of murdering her boyfriend by stabbing it, by, taking a knife and putting it in his chest. She tickled his spleen with a knife. One single stab. Just, like like Captain Ramius was involved. Give me one stab, Shelley. One stab only. So. But we just saw a bunch of people coming, guys. I think we're about to be there. I think we're about to. I think this is about to start. Everybody's showing up. I think that's where we're at here. So there we go. And then remember, that's also the things too. If people were told show up at a certain time, and that's actually a big deal. If the family was told 10 o'clock to be there, the court's not going to and right now it sounds like the court got ahead of schedule. Sometimes, very rare that happens. But the judge might be like, it's 9:30, let's keep going. No, you're like, Your Honor, we told them 10 o'clock. So you have to wait and get things done. Michelle says, I have a meeting. Oh, yes. Bald Eagle says, does anybody know if the judge is up for election? Well, in Florida, it's more about retention, but the judges usually make high-profile cases go to trial during election season. Not my experience. That's not really the thing. That's not what people notice. People don't care about the trials. People care about when you're on the news. Like, that's not the sexy thing. The sexy thing is when you're on the 6 o'clock news saying, and when the judge is like, I don't tolerate your conduct, sir. I'm putting you in prison 25 years. That's what gets you on the news. That's what people remember. So no, judges, doing sentencings that get on the 6 o'clock news, that's what people remember. That's what people care about. When people are voting for judge, and this is more of a statement about, America's view on the justice system and, issues about the carceral state, the prison system and the prisoning state. If you're a judge who says, I'm going to be pretty fair, okay, people are like, okay, that sounds great. But if you have a judge who's like, I'm sending all the bad men to prison, guess who wins that election? Guess who wins that election? Nick says, waving to the camera, super classy. I mean, at times like this, yes, it's a bit of a carnival atmosphere. Sure, but people, it's hard not to be like, hi, Mom, type of situation. I get it. Tiberius saying, albatross around your neck is a bit old-timey, but we use it over here. It's like, we still use it. We still use it here in America, in the colonies. So, let's see here. Did I miss anything else? Jefferson says, could Ethan Ralph smuggle her to Colombia? God. All right. I understood that reference. I think it's funny. The cameraman keeps on every time he hears, it's like a dog. Every time he hears a noise, he's like scanning. Oh, she's coming. Oh, and then he just keeps scanning around. Oh, she's coming. But yes, his job is to film the woman. And he's definitely going to be doing it. Are the seating arrangements made like a wedding? On the left and right? Not necessarily like on the left and the right, but generally speaking, the defense and the prosecution, behind the defense table is going to be defense people. Behind the prosecutor is going to be prosecution people. Also, keep in mind, this is a different setup than trial. In trial, the prosecutor sits next to the jury. Right now, the defense is going to be sitting next to the jury typically because they're going to be next to where their client comes in. And also that facilitates if you bring in a bunch of, we'll open this up full screen here. If you guys can see here, we'll bring out the telestrator. There's a bunch of seats. So what a lot of courts will do is they'll bring in a bunch of defendants at once during like a docket call, and they'll bring, the defendant comes up to the, table with the defense attorney. It makes a lot more sense that they go over to the table that's right next to them. So they could just get up and walk over to the table that's like right here, instead of having them walk all the way across the courtroom. It's like, that's a pain in the butt. We're not doing that. So it just depends on whichever side, the parties are on the up front. So it can always change. And we'll go back to being live because Courtney could have snuck in the meantime. But nope, she's still not. She's still not. Lori, just teleport. No, but I paused it to write on it. Is that original ringtone on your phone? Yes, by default, yes. I have the old people tone. No, but you have to be careful because, like, God forbid that went off in court. Do you really want me like having like tipping on fofos, wrapped in fofos? Like, no, like that, no, you can't have that. So, no, I have a basic ringtone. That's a risk for attorneys. You have basic bitch ringtones. You can't you can't go ahead and do that. So, hold on, chat. There we go. Sorry, guys. Let me take care of that. There we go. All right. Sorry, I was trying to do two things at once. There. Embalm says no ring and ding a ding ding. Yes. Or ring 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 banana phone. Maybe that's like one you could kind of get away with. But no, you have to be very careful. It's one thing I will say, guys. If you never, I've been in court before where people do have ringtones of whatever they want, and like it's mortifyingly embarrassing. I've had people like, blasting out a country song, blasting out a rap song, blasting out, like the beginning to Back in Black, something, and you're in the middle of like just a normal docket call like this, and it goes out. Okay, great. I've been in the middle of trial, like questioning a witness, and all of a sudden here it's like dun 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 wow dun dun dun, and the person, you turn around and you see somebody and they're just like, oh God, I'm trying to shut it off. Hold on, I'm trying, and they finally mute it. But immediately whoever called them is, and guys, just don't be this person, but they call, okay, and it doesn't work, and they're immediately just like, they just keep calling, so it just keeps going off, and they're trying to shut it off, and it's no longer it's not like it back in the day when you had like a flip phone or like phones that could come apart. You just, I did this once in court. I ripped my phone open and shake the battery out of it. So I was like, that's quicker, and I'm like, I just took care of it. I was like, I was in a pre-trial, and it's like yanked, and I'm like, judge is like, I'm impressed you did that fast. I'm like, Your Honor, making sure I don't want to interrupt. And he still said, and the bailiff came up and took my phone, and I had to wait till the end of the hearing to get it back. And the judge is like, let's work on that, Mr. Martin. I said, Your Honor, I'm very sorry. You can do it with the codec ring from Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, you could. You definitely could. But those are funny stories. Emily Baker. Oh, hi, Haven. Saying Emily D. Baker. Yes, guys. Emily D. Baker. The very, very accomplished Emily Baker out there, guys. The former. I got nothing but Emily Baker's a great person. She's always been great to me. Anytime I've talked to her about things going on, she's been awesome. But yes, Emily Baker's great out there. I'd say she's a friend of the channel. So maybe one day she'll come on. I don't know. One day she might come into this dirty little joint. She told a story about her phone went off in court and the ringtone she had was my milkshake. I mean, that's always what I've been terrified of that. So I never, since I started, well, I mean, I always like my ringtone phase was like I was in college and law school. So I was like, I just would never risk it nowadays. I would never risk it. And it's like, you have to be embarrassed because it's never anything good. Like, you're like, oh my God, people are going to criticize my music choices now too. Like, there's all kinds of concerns about that. Not only is it like swearing or inappropriate, but I'm like, oh my gosh, are they going to think I'm cringe? That's also another concern. It's a contempt panic. Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a contempt issue there, but it's also just you're breaking decorum and you want to be seen as professional and you understand the severity and the gravity of the situation. So yes, it's a basic thing here. My ringtone used to be no scrubs. Yeah. Emily could get away with that. I'm like, yeah, I think I could definitely, but it's just a little, I don't know. I've just been mortified of that. So one day she will recognize us. Let's see here. Yes, we think you're cringe. I'm sure a lot of people do. You figure my tone would be the Bad Boys song by Inner Circle. Yeah, but the problem is like that's associated with cops, and I'm not a cop, and I'm not a prosecutor. So I'd be careful about having that because your clients could hear that and they'd be like, well, wait, whose side you on? Yes, wrapped in fofos. Tipping on fofos. Wrapped down fofos. Oh, it takes me back. It takes me back, chat. It takes me back to like high school time. You know, that I knew kids blasting that out of their, subwoofers as they're cruising around. And I was like Project Pat and 3-6 Mafia, like that was like way back in the day, like 2002 and 3. Ooh. Yeah, well, this is another kid's. Oh my God, this is another concern that you have. You open up your laptop and it's just anime starts playing. Or like I'm watching a YouTube video, it starts playing. Or something pops up. You're like, ooh, that's scary. So yes, you almost take your laptop and just like I might actually do that if that were to happen to me. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go, guys. It's showtime. Here she is. Here she comes, Miss America. Oh, she got her hair done in jail. Interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Here we go. A woman of the hour. She wanted to look good for the camera. So now they're going over the plea documents with her. They're going over the plea documents. They're like, we're going to do this. Do you understand what's going on? Are you ready to go? You're going to have to sign some stuff. We have to read through this with you. So they're going to go through a multi-page document with her. Maybe we can hear what they're saying. Let's listen. And they have to talk her all the way through the plea document to understand everything. And they're going through all of what's there. They're saying, look, here's what we're going to do. Here's what you're agreeing to. And they're going through page after page. You got to go through it. Now, it helps that she's literate, but sometimes you have an illiterate client and you have to read it out for them. So
you got to make sure you got everything right.
I know I got everything right.
Okay.
Prosecutor came over and just to make sure, hey, is the plea agreement correct? No typos, no problems. And yeah, they're just making sure everything's right. So here we go. Why is this? Why is that not work? Like, it's all... They're frozen, chat.
Carlito, welcome back.
So... I really hope you saw my comment. I did laugh quite a bit. Let me see. What did you say? Yes, having the songs in the key, having all the casino songs play in court. Yes, that would be funny. Then you got to explain, like, you know, what does press puree mean? It's like you have to explain to the judge. Well, who's JF Garpe? And you're like, and you explain that, and then the judge is like, well, what's the sector? And you're like, okay, Judge, we're not doing this. Jared says, well, you don't use your work laptop for that kind of stuff. Yeah, most people don't have multiple laptops, but I have like a computer, a desktop. So I don't do my work stuff in that together like that. The most recent was Travis Barker's daughter trying to type in Roblox, and it came up with her search history as genital herpes medication. Oh, no. Well, part of the problem there is, too, the neat part about StreamYard, this stuff doesn't pop up. If you're on StreamYard, you don't see what I'm typing in the search bar. Also, if I'm on StreamYard, you don't see if I move another window onto the screen. That's why you don't use OBS. OBS has a lot of drawbacks, and that's one of them is OBS shows everything. So StreamYard has a lot of positives. So you guys will never find out about my herpes medication. So, but yeah, they're just still going through stuff with her. You'll never see my tax folder yet. But yes, they're going through it, guys. And Mimi Ramon says, when are you getting 20%? So, oh, guys, we got to catch up. Some bunch of people here now. Hello, everybody. Is she fixable? I mean, yeah, I know a lot of you guys would try. You guys stop simping. Stop simping. So, I mean, all I can say to this, guys, is, you know, stop gooning.
I'm done shilling the CIA propaganda. Never goon!
Don't goon. Don't goon. David says she's hot. Yeah, she's a Michigan 10. I know. She's a Michigan 10. So, but yeah, I mean, literally, they got to go through all of it. She's signing. She's signing it. It's official. Now, she could still take it back, and the judge won't, like, not let her. But, like, generally speaking, it's going to be harder as this hearing ends. All right, here we go, chat.
Sorry, Judge.
All right, guys, there is all kinds of work occurring here. A lot of discussions. You got to talk to your client. You're there with them right now. You're working on stuff. Like, this is how it goes. We're getting to the dirty part of it. Oh, Mimi Ramon says she braided her hair while it was wet. Mystery solved. Well, she learned all those there's all kinds of hacks to do whatever you need to in court when you're stuck in jail. So she's not getting the right shampoo in jail, is she? No. Very funny. Is that Snoop Dogg? Where?
You sure?
Oh, where'd you? Sorry, guys, I had to look away for a second.
She's not up.
Snoop Dogg was in the house. Are you guys just being ridiculous? And this is part of client control, guys, is she's going to be pretty emotional. I mean, having to admit you did something. At the end of the day, it was still, her boyfriend. This is still going to be an emotional thing. You saw they had a whole stack of tissues in their hands. This is client management. You have to do a lot of different things. And part of it is you have to keep her calm, because if she starts getting worked up, well, she makes a spectacle of herself and everybody's going to film it and look at her. And you have to protect your client. But you also have to protect her, because she starts getting all upset and anxious. So you can go, I guess I don't want to plea anymore. And you're just like, damn. So keeping people calm is always kind of like one of your other considerations. Calm people don't panic. And, because panic people withdraw their plea and turn everything into a disaster. So you got to be very calm, with tranquilo. Everybody just, you got to be this. No shakiness. You got to be steady. Got to be iron hand. Yep, his family is there. Yep. Yes. From this angle, she looks like Weird Al in court. Ooh. Guys are so mean. It's like the song from Taylor Swift. It's like, and all you are is mean. Guys, just women are. Brows, lip gloss, yeah. Oh, the photographer looks like Snoop with that hair. Oh, and do you mean like Snoop Dogg, or Snoop from like The Wire? There he goes. Why is Jack Lemmon there? Jeez. That room needs another desk. That's the thing, guys. These courtrooms, I told you, like a regular courtroom in America, they've got so much crap going on. But also, when this stuff all existed, this courtroom was built, they didn't have computers. They didn't have like all the court staff necessary to do all of this work. That's the problem with these courtrooms. And if this went to trial, I don't know if they would have been able to do it in this courtroom. This is a very tight courtroom, but this is the real world. As I told you, this is the real world, not what not what you think it is. Oh, hold on, guys. Did I mess something up here? Did I? Oh, no, they were just like, hold on here. Yeah.
All right.
Good morning. So here in the case of the state of Florida versus Courtney Clenney, Would the parties please state their appearances for the record, starting with the state?
Yes, Your Honor. Sean Abuhoff on behalf of the state, Kathleen Hogue on behalf of the state, and then on behalf of
Here we go.
Mr. Larry Hanfield.
Good morning. And on behalf of Ms.
Good morning, Your Honor. Frank Prieto on behalf of Ms. Clenney, along with my co-counsel, Ms. Sabrina Puglisi, and Ms. Diane Karames. Ms. Clenney is present in custody, Your Honor.
And also, Judge, I apologize for interrupting, but also the next of kin is present. Mr. Hanfield is going to introduce them.
All right, thank
Mom, Mr. Pacino, Obumseli. We have brother Jeffrey, please stand. Karen. And
This is Courtney. This is the family attorney over here.
we have Clara, and we have Sandra.
Thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you.
And Judge, just for the record, she's printing on page 2 of Your Honor's calendar.
Yes, sir, thank you. Mr. Abuhoff, I understand the state will be filing an amended information at this time.
Yes, Judge. And in anticipation of this plea, the state has filed a amended information charging the defendant with 1 count of manslaughter with a deadly weapon. It is a first-degree felony punishable up to 30 years in state prison. That changes her guideline score from what it was to now 124.5 months in state prison, up to 30 years in state prison.
All right, Mr. Prieto?
Yeah, Judge, we've entered plea not guilty, demand discovery, and request trial by jury at this time.
That being said, I understand the parties have reached a resolution in this case, so Ms. Clenney will be pleading guilty, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right.
That is
Mr.
correct, Judge.
Abuhoff?
I am passing up the written plea agreement that is signed by not only the state, the defendant, but also all of her attorneys. Major part of this, Judge, is that she's pleading guilty to this amended information, to the charge that was announced just now. There's a factual proffer that's a part of this plea agreement. We're going to ask Your Honor to read it. She will be agreeing to that factual proffer, but most importantly, she is agreeing and admitting that she is the cause of the stab wound that Mr. Obumseli received, and then that she is taking criminal responsibility for her actions. As part of this plea agreement, the state is willing to accept her plea. We've discussed this at length with the next of kin and certainly with Mr. Hanfield. And certainly when there's any agreement, no one is happy at the end of this, and we understand that. But the agreement that the state is willing to accept is that the defendant would be adjudicated guilty. She'll be sentenced to 6 years in state prison, followed by 5 years of reporting probation. As part of her probation, she must complete a mental health evaluation and treatment. There's a time frame in which she is to complete it as part of the plea agreement. Substance abuse evaluation and treatment, that's also a time constraint that's going to be in the agreement. And then it's 60 days, Your Honor. And then the batterer's intervention program. If she does violate her probation in any way at any point, she's waiving extradition back to Florida, and as well that she faces back to her guidelines, which are 124.5 months in state prison, up to 30 years in state prison. Although not specifically in this plea agreement, the state attorney has asked me to discuss the topic specifically that it discusses, and it's important that nobody who is a convicted murderer to killing someone, if someone is convicted of murder, they are not to financially benefit as a result of that. That's Florida Statute 944.512.
They're taking away our OnlyFans, chat.
But it is a statutory lien that attaches automatically, and if the Attorney General's office were to decide to
They're taking away our ability to make money,
seek some form of lien or process in that, then that we would be supporting them.
bastards.
We do believe that nobody should benefit financially from murdering somebody. So we will provide any evidence that they request. We'll work hand in hand with the Attorney General's office if they so seek to do some form of lien or some financial proceeding against Ms. Clenney, understanding that she will be released at some point and may seek to financially benefit as a result of this. But it's not part of the plea agreement, but it is something that attaches automatically.
All right. Mr. Prieto, I'll hear from you as to the plea agreement in its written form. Is that your understanding of the plea?
That is correct, Judge, and all the conditions and all the agreements are contained within that document. Outside the four corners of those multiple page document, we do not agree that number one, 944.512 is constitutional. We reserve our right to challenge that.
At this point, that's not part of this proceeding. It attaches automatically. It is constitutional. It is the law. What they do with subsequent hearings is to them. But as we stand here today, because it does attach, I'm just simply announcing that we will work hand in hand with the Attorney General's office. It needs no further discussion, but the fact is that no one should financially benefit from murdering somebody.
Well, Judge,
We'll get to
do
that,
have the
Mallory.
right to speak on my client's behalf, and so I'm going to put on the record that we believe that statute's unconstitutional. It's not an issue for the plea agreement, like Mr. Adler said. It was 100% accurate. However, we reserve the right to challenge that in the future. We do not think it's constitutional, and it would be challenged should any Attorney General seek to enforce that. But that's an argument for another day should it arise.
All right, very good. In preparation for today's proceedings, I have been privy to the agreed upon plea, and I will ratify the agreement of the parties at this time based on the following. This case originated 4 years ago in 2022. Since then, the parties, both the state.
Got 2 years left, guys.
And in this case, have engaged in
Got 2
diligent
years.
and extensive preparation of the case. That preparation consisted of a thorough investigation that included, but was not limited to, the routine discovery process that is involved in a complex criminal case, as well as literally thousands of pages of legal motions and responses, the consultation of experts from both sides who opined on various legal issues such as self-defense, battered partner syndrome, and issues regarding manner of death. Based on the investigation of the case and the resulting legal analysis of the strengths and weaknesses of this case from both the state's perspective as well as the defense, and perhaps most importantly, the victim's family's wishes to bring closure to this horrific and life-changing experience, the parties have reached a resolution that this court will not frustrate. The parties have also agreed on a factual proffer as stated by the prosecutor that I will now read into the record. The state of Florida and the defendant agree as to the following factual proffer. A, Christian Obumseli, hereafter the victim, and the defendant began dating in late 2020. Their relationship is defined by the parties as being extremely tempestuous and combative, as both have been involved in numerous domestic violence incidents. B, the victim and the defendant moved to South Florida in January 2022, taking up residence in a condominium located at One Paraiso Residences, located in Miami-Dade County. There were many complaints made by residents and security staff lodged against the couple during the 3 months that they resided in the complex. As a result, the management company was in the process of evicting the couple. C, on April 3rd, 2022, Miami police and Miami fire responded to their condo after a 911 call was made reporting a stabbing. Officers found the victim with a singular stab wound to the chest. After the incident, the defendant provided a knowingly, intelligent, and voluntarily made statement to the police, confirming that she was responsible for the stab wound. The knife penetrated approximately 8 centimeters into the victim's chest, puncturing the right subclavian artery. The victim was transported to Jackson Memorial Hospital, where he died from his injuries. Madam Clerk, would you please swear in Ms. Clenney?
Yes, Your Honor. Raise your right hand, ma'am.
Here she goes.
Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
You can put your hand down. Please state your full name for the record. What is your date of birth? How far did you get to school? Do you have any history of mental illness?
I was diagnosed with severe PTSD.
Are you currently under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No,
We'll get to this, guys.
Everything that was discussed with your attorneys prior to coming to court, as well as what we're doing here in court today.
Yes,
I understand you wish to plead guilty to manslaughter in exchange for the plea that was read into the record a moment ago. Has anyone, including your own attorney, promised you anything other than that? Has anyone forced, threatened, or coerced you to accept a plea at this time? Do you understand if you are not a United States citizen, this plea will result in negative immigration consequences such as deportation or removal? Have you spoken to your attorneys about that, and do you still wish to accept this plea knowing that? Do you understand you're waiving your right to a trial? Do you understand you're waiving your right to remain silent, and that silence cannot be used against you at trial? Do you understand you're waiving your right to testify? Do you understand you're waiving
We'll get
your
to all
right
of this,
to
guys.
confront, cross-examine, and present witnesses? Do you understand you're waiving your right to hold the state of Florida to its burden of proving the case beyond a reasonable doubt? Do you understand you're waiving your right to appeal? The following question does not seem to apply in this case, but I have to ask in every case. Do you understand that the offense to which you are pleading is a sexually violent or sexually motivated offense, or if you've been previously convicted of such an offense, this plea may result in involuntary civil commitment as a sexually violent predator upon the completion of your sentence? Do you understand if you violate the terms and conditions of your probation, you're facing up to 30 years in the state prison? Do you still wish to plead guilty? Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty, or you believe this plea is in your best interest? Have you spoken to your attorneys about the plea? Have they answered all of your questions? Do you need any more time to discuss the plea with your attorneys? Are you satisfied with their services? I'd like to talk to you for a moment about the written plea agreement that I have in my hands. It is 8 pages. And on the bottom left of each page, it says defendant's initials, CC. Are those your initials?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you reviewed every line, every word, every page of this plea agreement with your attorneys?
Yes.
Now turning over to page 6 of 8. It's entitled Defendant's Representation of Effectiveness of Counsel. Is that your signature over the line that says Courtney Clenney, defendant?
Yes.
And then each of your attorneys has also signed on pages 7 and 8, Mr. Prieto, Ms. Laura Puglisi, and Ms. Karamas. Are those your signatures?
Yes.
And finally, certificate of defendant on page 8 of 8. Once again, Courtney Clenney, defendant. Is that your signature on that line?
Yes.
Do you understand that even if I do not state orally here on the record that everything contained within this written plea agreement will be made part of the judgment and sentence, even if I don't say it out loud?
Yes.
Mr. Prieto, have you and your team reviewed all items of evidence?
This is all standard,
disclosed by the state with Ms. Clenney?
all standard plea
Did
agreement
the
stuff,
state
Chad.
or defense know of any items of physical evidence containing DNA that could exonerate the defendant? State?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
Not at
Does the defense waive PSI?
the way PSI.
Do the state and defense stipulate to a factual basis? State?
State stipulates.
The
Defense?
defense will stipulate as contained in the plea.
Ms. Clenney, I find the plea has been entered into knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently. That you understand the nature and consequences of the plea. There's a factual basis for the plea, and that you're represented by good and competent counsel with whom you say you're satisfied. At this time, I will be adjudicating you, and I'm going to turn to page 3 of 8, to the charge of manslaughter with a deadly weapon. I'm sentencing you to 6 years in the state prison with all applicable credit for time served, followed by 5 years of reporting probation. As a condition of that probation,
Not a bad
you will
deal,
complete
guys.
a mental health evaluation and all required treatment deemed necessary. You will complete a substance abuse evaluation and complete all required treatment deemed necessary, as well as completing the batter's intervention program within the first year of probation. As I said, there are some other provisions contained within this written plea agreement that will be made part of the judgment and sentence. I'm assessing court costs and any and all statutory and mandatory fines. You will be fingerprinted. We should have DNA on file. Before we turn it to the victim impact portion, is there anything further on behalf of the state?
Nothing from the state, Judge.
Defense?
Yeah, Judge, I would just, as far as corrections and computing her her time served. To remember, she was initially detained in Hawaii when she was in the rehab facility. So her actual booking date here at TGK does not reflect all of her credit for time served. I don't have the date of arrest, but I believe.
Yeah, that's the
The
interesting
date
part.
of arrest in Hawaii was August 10th of 2022, so she should receive all credit for time served from that date moving forward.
Does the state agree?
Judge, the only issue is going to be, one, there has to be an order for it. Otherwise, it's going to be from the time in which she was brought into custody. So,
right. So if you're in agreement, let's draft an order, credit for time served on August 10th, 2022.
We'll do that. We'll have it
Yes.
today.
All right. Anything further?
Wow.
On the defense?
No, she's not. She's going to jail still. She got 2 more years.
No, Your Honor.
All right. I'm filing the written plea agreement that I have now initialed and executed with the clerk. I'd like to now turn it over to Ms. Hanfield. But first, I would like to extend my deepest condolences to the Obumseli family. As I said previously, thank you all for making the time to come here today, and I'm very, very sorry for this.
Judge, actually, before Mr. Hanfield speaks on behalf of the entire family, I believe we have Ms. Karen Akuma, who is going to be reading the victim's mother's statement to the court.
Thank you.
Yep, so she got 4 down, chat. And it's funny, like, this is the date of her initial arrest in Hawaii. So she only got, basically a little under 2 years left. So.
As I stand here to read my victim impact statement, I first give thanks to the Lord Almighty for his protection and guidance over our family throughout these past 4 years. I also want to thank the attorneys, the state attorney's office, Larry Hanfield, and everyone who helped make sure that Christian's voice and our family's voices were heard. I thank our family and our friends who called, prayed for us, checked on us, and stood beside us through this very, very difficult journey. I am Christian's mother. Words can never fully explain how Christian's death has affected my life and the lives of everyone in our family. There is simply too much pain to put on paper. On April 4th, 2022, while I was at work, I received the call that no parent should ever have to receive. I was asked to give consent for my son's eyes to be donated. I had just talked to him the day before and had no knowledge that he had been killed. That was the darkest day of my life. And the darkness continued to unfold as I learned Christian had been killed by his girlfriend, Courtney Clenney, someone he had trusted and loved. Since April 2022, I have lived with fear, anxiety, sleepless nights, heartache, and more tears than I could ever count. 4 years later, there are still nights when I cannot sleep. There are moments when my mind goes back to the last moments of Christian's life. As his mother, those thoughts are very difficult for me to carry. There was a joy in my life and in our family's life before Christian died that has never completely returned. His death did not only affect me, however. It affected my entire family, including his older brother, Jeffrey, his cousins who were raised as siblings, and his grandmother who loved him so much and called him her precious. We have all had to learn how to live with the empty place that cannot be filled. But I do not want Christian to be remembered only for how he died. Christian was my son. Everyone who knew Christian, who truly knew him, can attest that he was kind-hearted, compassionate, friendly, and respectful. He cared about other people. I remember one day when Christian and I were driving to a store. I stopped and I was going to give a homeless man a few dollars. Christian encouraged me to do much more than that. It was a small moment, but it showed the kind of heart he had. He saw another human being who needed help, and he wanted to make sure that that person had enough. Christian, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud that I had the privilege of being your mother. Those are the memories that no one can ever take from us and me. Nothing can erase the pain of the day that I buried my son. Nothing can describe what it feels like for a mother to stand at the grave of her child. There are also the things that will never happen for me now that he's gone. The birthdays, the holidays we will not celebrate with him. The conversations we will never have.
You can tell this is really emotional for her too.
Those losses continue much longer after today's court case ends. For more than 4 years, we've lived with the loss every day and waited for accountability. Today closes a legal chapter, but it certainly doesn't close our grief. No sentence, no plea can bring back my son to me. My only hope is to carry his memory forward and to continue healing as a family. My prayer is that after today, Christian will simply not be remembered by the public as a name connected to a criminal case. He was a son, he was a brother, he was a cousin, he was a nephew and a grandson. And he was a friend to a lot of people. He was loved, he had a future, and his life had value and mattered. As a family, we are very private people. We have endured this loss while much of Christian's life and death have been discussed publicly and inaccurately to support a narrative created by Courtney, the person who took my son's life. There are parts of our grief that belong only to us, and I choose to keep those things within our family. But I want this court to understand this much. The loss of Christian did not end on April 4th, 2022. We carry it with us every day. Through everything, I continue to place my faith in God. Christian Toby Obumseli, I know you are with the Lord. Onwane Tilora, as your brother called you, which means the moon in the sky that shines for everyone. That is how I choose to remember you, as a light. Your legacy and your memory will remain with us. We miss you. We love you. May you continue to rest in peace, my son.
It's actually very powerful. I know you guys may not like it, but I can respect it. Very powerful and all about the family and the loss they've suffered. I think it's very well done. Very, very, very well done, I think.
May it please the court. State Representative of the State Attorney's Office, Courtney Clenney. On behalf of the Obumseli family, I would like to read into the record your final comments. April 4th of 2022, Christian Obumseli suffered a painful and tragic death at the hands of the person he loved. Sadly, that will be the person that would ultimately take his life. Christian loved deeply. It was his love that caused him to stay. Even after being previously cut in the face, previously stabbed in the leg by Courtney, he would later write that his love would eventually get him killed. In many ways, he predicted his own death at the hands of Courtney Clenney. Unfortunately, like so many individuals who are getting caught up in not loving relationship, but just destructive relationship, he stated. And we are here today because what he believed became a reality. By resolving this case today by way of a plea, Courtney Clenney avoids being judged by a jury of her peers. But that will never be able to escape the ultimate and final judgment for anyone's conduct.
A lot of stuff is coming in, guys. Sorry for Court TV's quality. This is on their end.
Our Almighty God. Your actions, you need to know, as you sit here today, and as you finish out serving your time for punishment, that you have left the Obumseli family with a board.
These are the victims and the representatives.
The pain that continues to
This is their
endure
attorney right now.
today, as painful as it was when they learned of his untimely death. It is a pain that will never completely go away. A chair where family gathers for holidays will always remain empty. The Obumseli family has been forced into joining a membership that no family should ever want to be a part of. And as a family of mothers of murdered children. As a family, we still cannot get past the fact that Christian was stabbed while you remained on the phone with your mom. You then called downstairs to security, and then your third and final call, which should have been your first call, was the 911. In the meantime, you offered no life-saving measures to try to save Christian's life. To us, that is inhumane. Christian was someone's son, someone's brother, someone's nephew, someone's cousin, someone's friend, and most importantly, he was deeply loved. His life had meaning. He had a future. And his family deserved to grow old with him. He was robbed of all those things while you still have all yours to enjoy. Nothing can bring Christian back. Nothing can erase what happened. And nothing can fill the space that will forevermore be left empty. We will carry Christian's memory, his love, and his legacy with us for the rest of our lives. I thank the court for giving us, as a family, the opportunity to be heard and to let this be a part of the record. But lastly, through it all, we never even received an apology, an acknowledgement for the loss that changed our lives forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hanfield. Would anyone else like to speak at this time?
I don't believe so, Judge. Not from the state.
Once again, for the entire family, thank you for being here. Thank you for the beautiful words that we read and what Mr. Hanfield read. Thank you for sharing the collage of pictures of Christian with me. And I really, really pray that his memory is a blessing to all of you. Thank you. Is there anything further on behalf of the state?
No, Your Honor.
Not
Defense?
by the defense, Judge.
Okay. I want to thank the attorneys once again for your diligent preparation and professionalism throughout the process. The court will be in recess at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
Well, there we go. Courtney Clenney getting 2 more years in prison. Total of 6. She's already got 4 down. So,
All rise.
let's keep this on mute. Cameraman wants a Hollywood deal. Well, I mean, he's doing the best he can there. So, yeah, she's going to do a total of 6 years in prison, credit for time served, which surprisingly starts when she was arrested in Hawaii. She was there at rehab. And real quick check, give me 1 second here. I need to take care of this. I have to call a client. Something just got continued. Hold on, guys. This is... Hold on 1 second. Let me take care of this, guys. You'll be right back.
Running out, baby? Running out? Yeah. You see what I've done? I'm processing my paperwork. Zoom on out. See you tomorrow, everybody. Same place, 9 o'clock. Don't be late. Don't be late. Yes, sir. Don't say it.
All right, chat. I mean, there she is. There she is. Pretty shooken up. I mean, she had to admit to killing him. And I apologize to step away. So, yeah. So let's see what you guys have to say here. Let's see what you guys have to say. We'll keep her in the corner there, just so you guys can see her and everybody can keep Courtney on their mind. Keep her on their mind. There we go. We'll do that. So one of the things they talked about in Florida is Florida statute here that is somewhat relevant. We're going to switch over to this actually real quick because I do think it's important to cover. And it's a Florida statute that covers making publicity off of crimes that you've committed. And this is actually interesting. This is basically like a Son of Sam law. And that's because David Berkowitz, the Son of Sam killer, tried to make money off of his notoriety of being the Son of Sam killer. So what is this? Well, it allows for a state lien on proceeds from literary or other accounts for which the crimes you were convicted. So this allows it through the Attorney General along with prosecutors. You can, chat, I'm sorry. All right, guys. Sorry about that. There's Courtney getting her fingerprinted because now she is a convicted felon. So there you go. We'll probably also do a DNA swab on her, and that'll be it for Courtney. Now, getting back to the statute here that we were talking about just now. This is for, your publicity. And they were talking about this because ultimately, if Courtney went out and did like a Netflix documentary, that's something they're concerned about. But also, remember, she was on OnlyFans. And when OnlyFans cover, she'll come out and say, like, I'm the killer. You know how many people are going to buy her OnlyFans at least for a month? A lot of people will. A lot of people will. And we've got some angry doggos, guys. Hold on one second. Oh, they're not having a good day. They're barking at everybody. All right. So this is a situation where Courtney's going to be able to come out and say, like, I'm the OnlyFans killer. Or I did this, I did that. Because now she can admit to everything. And she's going to get out there. She's going to show herself. And, she's going to make a ton of money off this. Like, let's not lie. There are a lot of people who are going to do it because they're men who are simps. But there are also a lot of people, it's just the macabre and the curiosity in the world. They're going to take a look at this and see, like, what was this? What is going on? So it is an interesting thing to think about how this is all going to shake out. And what did let's see here. Oh no, that's all I had today. Perfect. Also, that got continued, so I don't have to be here for it. We could stay. But this allows the government to, if she released a book, they can put a lien on that. If she did interviews, they could put liens on that. Does it cover OnlyFans? I don't know. And also her attorneys were saying, well, this is also unconstitutional. But the court and the prosecutor are like, we're not worried about that today. And the defense said, yes. And I think this is just the defense attorney trying to cover bases for his client, saying, we're not stipulating to the validity of the law, but we acknowledge that it exists. And right now she's subject to it. But we reserve the right to challenge the constitutionality of it later. That's what he was trying to do, is just make sure I was on the record. Courtney was not consenting to this law being put into effect against her. So they could put liens, prior indignity to all others, meaning indignity, meaning any other liens that may exist or any other priority of those liens and any other liens that people may have that owe money to Courtney, that Courtney owes money to. What does that mean? Well, the government can always jump to the front of the line. And why can they do that? Because they're the government. They write the laws. So they're saying, hey, look, we go to the top of the stack. Why? Because we said so. So they're talking about this here, to anything of value payable to a convicted felon or a person on their behalf. So this covers people who are out of prison, but also people in prison, including any person whom the proceeds may be transferred, assigned by gift or otherwise. So meaning I couldn't gift you the money. Even if you're not my representative, you're like my neighbor. And I'm like, here, take all my money. Wink, wink, wink. No, they can still get that. From any literary, cinematic, or other account of the crime for which she was convicted. Now, if she just says, I'm not, and she doesn't say how she did it, she doesn't do anything like that. She just goes out there and keeps on putting her boobs out on the internet. This isn't that. This wouldn't be that. But if she does like an OnlyFans where she's sitting there like playing with her boobs and talking about how she killed them, that might. That all works there. But they talk about how they do this. Well, the liens attach at the time in conviction, and in the event of appeal, they get held in escrow. But here's how it works. The proceeds of the account shall be distributed as follows. 25% to the dependents. So if she does have family and dependents, they get some of it. 25% to the victims or victims of crime, to their dependents. And then after all that's been made, and after everything else has been done, it can go to the general revenue fund. So notice, the government always gets to wet their beak. You're like, oh, well, do the victims get all the money? No, the victims don't get all the money. They get maybe 25% of it. So That's what they're going for. So yes, maybe she's fighting for OnlyFans. It's not clear, but yes, it's not like Courtney Clenney was like building rockets at Cape Canaveral or anything like that. She's an OnlyFans hoe. She's an OnlyFans hoe. So that is what they were talking about earlier. Kay says the judge got a Dell. Yeah, Dell still has a lot of contracts in government. So yeah, it's not a surprise. Not a surprise at all. I don't get the OnlyFans ban was a part of the murder plot. No, but once again, I hope that makes sense here. They're trying to say she's going to use this for publicity and to make money off her publicity. And they're like, we don't want that. So it may work. Steven says negative immigration implications. Deport immediately. I mean, yeah, that's what, they're warning you because you do suffer those. Yes. Let the wrongful death civil suits begin. Other than the apartment complex, there's nobody else to sue. Courtney's got no money. She ain't going to have no money. She's going to live her life broke as a joke. How did she not get life? Because everybody agreed that they weren't going to give her life. And for manslaughter, life is not an option. So that's why. James says, how much dirt on the victim would have been dug up or produced? It sounds like quite a bit. And yes, in the body cam footage that is out there, she's pretty beat up too. Like I said, Christian and her were both very, they committed domestic violence against each other. So that's not always pretty. It's not always pretty. Not always pretty at all. Jefferson Post says, I'd say her lawyers earned her their hourly versus getting life in prison. Yeah. 6 years versus life. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. You turn a murder into 6 years in prison. That's pretty fucked. That's good work. That's good work. That's good work. Extremely good work. High caliber work, actually. Thank you, Jefferson. Also, he says less threats of an ass poundings and, prison rape than Brian Koberger's plea. Yes. Yes. Very true. And, EDW Raptor for $2 says, not going to lie, I'd peek at her OnlyFans of curiosity. A lot of people would. I don't doubt it. Kay says, so this guy was sipping and she killed him and now he's a saint. Well, remember, to their family, he was a good boy. It sounds like in the reality they learned, okay, it sounds like your son and her were in a relationship and they beat the dog piss out of each other all the time. And that's why they cut the deal they did. Because the prosecution realized, oof, this is going to be a tough case. This guy is not sympathetic at all. It sounds like he was an abuser as much as Courtney was. And this is something I've explained to you guys before. If a jury has somebody to hate and it's not your client, that's really good for you. And I can see the jury easily hating Christian. Why is he beating on Courtney? Why are you doing that? Why are you beating her? That's part of it. Certainly that's part of the calculus. Are we going to win? And when you don't have a sympathetic victim, not always. So you have to be careful. You guys have to be very, very careful about this and how these things go here. And this is something here. Renovato or Vadio too says both were involved in numerous domestic incidents. And he's saying, "What? Of course, both were involved. There has to be two, a victim and a perp. She's known to be the perp repeatedly. Yes, he's also known to be a perpetrator. The apartment staff indicated they saw him tune her up before, and that's part of the issue." He does not look, maybe he wasn't the primary aggressor, but it sounds like he's aggressed her before, though. And that's not sympathetic. That's a tough one to try. She stabbed a guy who was beating on her, and he's bigger than she is. I mean, we show the pictures. He's bigger than she is. I mean, at the end of the day, he's not it's not like Hathor Bjornsson and his wife, but he's bigger than she is. And if he's beating on her, and also it doesn't hurt that he's a black guy beating on a pretty little white girl, you may not like that reality of the situation, but them's the breaks. A black guy beating on a pretty little white girl is not going to sell good to really any jury, even a jury full of black people. Doesn't look good. So, no, like this is may not be fair. He may have been stuck in a relationship and it was a really dangerous one and he couldn't get out of it. And all those things may be true. Maybe true. Could be true. I'm here to tell you it is what it is, guys. You guys can lament how unfair that is, and I don't disagree with you. But that's not the world we live in. It's not the world we live in. The world we live in is different. And complain about gravity, but you still have to acknowledge that it is a thing. So, Jefferson Post says this sounds like a rather decent deal for Courtney. Oh, this is a smoking deal. This is a smoking deal. I mean, because even if she got acquitted, it's 4 years of her life she's never getting back that she spent in jail. So now she's going to get sent to prison, which is going to have a lot more things. It's going to have better commissary. It's going to have programs and things she could go do. She's only got 2 years, so she's going to be a short timer. She's eligible for getting out a little bit early, but it's over 80% of her sentence. She still has to serve. She's going to have more access to things, rec time, better everything. Not cooped up in a jail. So all that happens. She only got to do 2 years. She's already done 4. It's going to be over before she knows it. She's going to be 32. It's not a bad deal. I mean, I don't like it's short of an acquittal. It's a smoke. I know a good deal when I see it. I mean, that's a good one. That's a good one. I mean, I got a guy, aggravated murder. We got it knocked, his role in a murder for a drug deal that went bad. I got him 3 years. Like, I mean, I don't know how much more you can do in certain situations. I don't know how much more you can do. Like, and these guys, they worked their ass off to get her that. So good job for them. Good job for them. Let's see what else you guys have to say here. She'll be on FetLife this afternoon. She'll start a podcast. I guarantee you she will. If the Hawk Tua girl can get a podcast, Courtney Clenney can get a podcast. That's not a thing. That's not a surprise there. Then EDW Raptor for $5 is happy birthday. Thank you. Yes, it is my birthday today. So, yes. And then I guess at noon today, there's going to be a SpaceX launch down here in Cape Canaveral. And too bad it's not at night because I could go outside and film it and you guys could see it. But I'm going to go out and see if I can see it and try to look for it or at least hear it. I don't know. And then EDW Raptor says, oh, she was building rockets, but not the ones that go to space. There are a lot of JOI out there, I bet. A lot of some JOI videos now. Some videos of knife play, too. That would be funny if she went on OnlyFans and there was video of her just throwing knives. But I did want to say, Renovadio, thank you for the comment. I appreciate it. Let's see. Mallard says, why did her family agree to 6 years? I'm sure the prosecutors pointed out, look, there's evidence your son was beating on her. Evidence that night he beat on her and that there is a history of him beating on her. Do you want this to come out that he might have been an abusive, shitbag himself? She's been in prison for 4 years. Her life is ruined. And I'm sure they had to realize we can't guarantee you a win now. This all coming out, you might lose. And then she gets, then you get nothing. I mean, the state would not have made that deal if they weren't sure that they were in trouble. And honest assessment of their case, they're in trouble. They were in trouble with this. Let's see here. Yep, 6 years for killing a man. Yep, 6 years. Sometimes, yes. Yeah, I mean, the prosecution was far from sure they had a slam dunk. I guarantee you they had a lot of concerns. They had a lot of concerns, and they weren't willing to gamble it. They could take a guaranteed win. That's not what they want, but it's still a win. Or they can risk it all, and they might get nothing. And they thought there's a realistic probability they were going to get nothing. Sarcastro says, what an abortion of justice. That prosecutor who made the deal needs to be fired. I mean, if you went to trial and lost because everybody in the jury says Christian Obumseli, fuck him. He was an abusive piece of shit. I don't feel bad that he died and they voted not guilty. Then what? You're going to be mad the prosecutor took it to trial? I mean, this was the rational thing. He was far from securing a conviction at trial. I would argue he has an ethical duty not to do that then. Because if he knows if he's not gonna get a verdict, then he shouldn't go to trial on it, right? I understand you don't like it, but once again, this is a situation of you're mad that, this is like watching Discovery Channel and you're upset that the crocodile kills gazelles. I don't have to tell you, man. Like, you can be mad about that all day long. Like, crocodile's going to be eating gazelles all day long. It's nature, buddy. It's nature. So, Carmelo should got more in Carmelo. I know now you're just being an edgy boy, but no, she shouldn't have. She shouldn't have. Let's see here. 50 years would have been appropriate at least. What does this even incentivize now? I guess, Joe, it doesn't really incentivize anything because she had to sit in jail for 4 years, and now she's still going to prison. And it's because the facts worked out in her favor. I mean, it doesn't incentivize things other than getting into an abusive relationship that's extremely hostile and going back and forth with things. And then like that's the only thing you get out of this. And then you could kill your significant other and then you sit in jail for 4 years and then you end up pleading out. I mean, that's not really an incentivization. It's not really incentivization or incentivizing of the situation. It was not Jimmy Johns that called. Seems like a botched trial. Did the defense not play into the DV situation? Bassadon, they had to do a lot of discovery and they had to do a lot of investigating, the defense team did. And this is all pretty recent stuff they came up with. And also the court was just now getting to ruling on Christian's prior bad acts coming in. And looks like they're coming in. So that's why the prosecutor quit out on that. Yep, she took a plea deal. Sentenced to 6 years in prison, 4 down as of today, and she's only serving 2 more. So good on her. James says, I assume it would have taken more than 2 years to the end of the trial. No, they would have had the trial. The trial was set for the end of the month. So this trial would have been pretty quick overall. This wouldn't have been a multi-week trial because it's very straightforward. But thank you, James, for $5. Let's see here. I was doing a CLE. Yeah, that's it. Can you believe that ringtone? I know. Can you believe it? I'm trying to catch up here. Wow, guys. Trying to catch up. Holy cow. No, I'm not yelling at Clyde. Let's see here. Yes, Bork. The DNA swab. Do you know how much DNA she left everywhere in her OnlyFans? Ooh, that's rough. This is Sean's best OnlyFans content. Ohio, Florida. Thank you, Robert. Let's see here. Rivado saying the serial killer of women, the Night Stalker, was convicted when he received 2,900 love letters from women. In today's OnlyFans world, killers can make a fortune. I mean, the internet does. Like, there are guys out like women, right? Killers all the time. It's a little different for men because they don't normally do that. What about jail theme content? I don't think that would be prohibited. She could do a bunch of stuff. Like, she could take her jumpsuit with her and like she can pose and play with her lady bits and that and do Orange is the New Black stuff on camera. That's not about her account of the events. It's just, her being a hoe. So I don't think that would be subject to it either. Are we going all day? No, I have some work I have to get done this afternoon. So no, we are not going to go all day. Actually, we'll be done by noon at the latest. So the state was afraid of a cute crying white woman on the stand. They didn't want another Casey Anthony. Well, I mean, to be fair, there's evidence of him beating her. And he's the big man. Like it's a tough sell. It's a tough sell. So yes, we call this resume building. Yes, that's going to be that result. They are going to get so much business out of that. So Clenney is proof she's smarter than Sarah Boone. Oh, 100%. Michelle says she didn't allocate or apologize. You don't have to. Did you plead? Did you do it? Yes. Thank you. And move along. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. And she doesn't have to make a statement as part of sentencing. So she doesn't have to do that. And it's a stipulated sentence. There's no point. The judge is going to grant it. Just keep your mouth shut and move on with your life. Boom, 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 done, and she's out the door. So let's see here. The dead dog would have had a lot of impact too. Let's see here. And Ancient Troopers, I agree with you. When you see some guy getting beat, he doesn't do anything because he'll be considered the person. I'm not saying that it's not right. In the way domestic violence is treated in America, well, just in general in Western society, that it's a one-way street where women are really the only ones seen as victims, and that men can't be victims, and that there really aren't dangerous and abusive women out there. Don't disagree with you, but once again, it's like you getting mad at me because you have to wear a parachute to go skydiving, and you don't want to wear when you think you should be able to just jump out of an airplane. Cool. You're arguing to me about the structural issues and the way reality is constructed. I can't do anything about that. Can't do anything about that. You have to accept reality for what it is. And that's one of the realities. Peter Petrelli says, squish, I guess. I don't know. Oh, I forgot. We got her live on Kick. I better open up my Kick to see what's going on. See what's going on out there, guys. Oh, we got Winter Soldier for is that showing up here? Yes, for 5 subs. Thank you. Thank you very much for your support. Big support over on Kick. Yes, the world is not fair. Yes. Renovado says he wasn't beating her at the time she plunged a knife into him. No, but he beat her and gave her a bloody nose and a bloody lip. Once again, that moment he wasn't doing it, but let's not act like he wasn't doing it at all. Juries don't like that. Juries don't like men who beat on women. They don't. They weren't gonna find him sympathetic then. They aren't gonna find sympathetic a guy who beats on a girl and that probably let a dog starve to death in an abandoned apartment while it was chained up in the closet. Nobody's gonna find you. No one's gonna be sorry that you're dead in that situation. So, is that mandatory of 6 or is it early release in the cards? Florida doesn't do really early release, but she can serve like 85% of her sentence and she might be eligible. She's going to get her podcast started up. Yeah, I mean, she could. She definitely could. Why couldn't Jody Arias have this prosecutor? Yeah. Mallard says, I would have risked it if it was my son. 2 more years is nothing. But you're not the one. Like, here's the thing, Mallard. You are not in charge of whether or not you go to trial. The prosecutor is ultimately the one in charge. So that's why I said before, even if the victims don't agree, it's still the prosecutor's decision whether or not they go to trial. If that makes sense. Ultimately, the prosecutor gets to decide if they go to trial. If they accept pleas, how they do pleas. The victims can say we support it or don't support it, but them merely opposing it doesn't automatically invalidate that. Like, they don't control the process. They have input, though. Gee, I'm trying to catch up to you guys. You guys have so many good questions here. And I'm sorry to do all this. They can do a Shawshank Redemption with Tim Robbins burrowing out to get away from Clenney. That'd be funny. Hiding behind her poster instead of Raquel Welch. Yes, there is a social perception that DV is a statistical tie. Yeah, a lot of women are abusive. A lot of men are abusive. Not uncommon. Not uncommon. And if he hit her before, she has reason to believe he will hurt her again. Yeah, all of that. But once again, she has also hit him before and injured him. So there you go. It's not guys, these are sad cases where the facts aren't good. And Quit Life TV says we would not want the victims to be in full control of the prosecution as well. I agree. And I've used this example before when I was in the prosecutor's office. I had to call the victim of a guy, his car got stolen. And it's a felony. Up to 6 to 18 months in Ohio you could face for stealing your car. I called him. And I said, what do you want to see happen? And the guy's like, I want him to go to prison for 5 years. And the guy was very upset, but he had right to be upset. He almost lost his job. He's on probation at his job. He had, he almost missed his, after his car was stolen, his uncle died. He almost missed the funeral because he had to figure out how to get 500 miles to go see it. His kids, his family had trouble going to all their stuff. All kinds of things happen. And so for the guy, his car got stolen. He's like, yes, I want the guy who stole it to go to prison for 5 years. And I had to tell him, that's not happening. I also had to tell him this guy has no felony convictions. He is, 23 years old. He has a prior for, marijuana. And the guy's kind of getting into the beginnings of a drug addiction. And the court's not going to put him in prison. The court's going to put him on probation. So even though I agreed to, he had a bunch of time hanging over his head and all that, victim wasn't happy, but I had to tell him what it was. And think about it. If that guy was in charge of it, well, he stole a car, yes, but I want him to go to prison for longer than the statutory maximum. Well, how would we do that? If he doesn't support it, do we just stay in limbo forever? That'd be really awkward. The worst is the DV between lesbians. It's the worst of any group. It's actually pretty bad. It's actually pretty bad among lesbian couples. But to be fair, whatever you guys do, chat, don't Google police in 41% in the same Google search query. Don't do that. If you guys are not aware, there's as reported and studied about a 41% rate of police officers committing domestic violence on their wives or partners. So let's see here. Let's see where you guys. Oh, Sean Sandwich Sundry. Thank you, Sean Sandwich Sundry, for 2 subs. Thank you over on Kick. Perfecto. And Renovati is saying, in the UK, 42% of DVs are by men against women. Here in Ireland, 31% of women and 26% of men are DV victims of the other gender. But as Aaron Pizzi said, there's a lot of money in keeping it gendered. Yeah, there is. There is a lot of money in the victim industry. It is no different than anything else. Everything is a racket. Everything can be a racket. And there's always money. There's money to be made everywhere. And Renovadio, thank you for being here. Thank you for being over in Ireland. It's like 5, 6 o'clock for you guys over there. So hope you guys are doing well. Let's see here. Why did his family have a lawyer there? Because they're entitled to have representation. And having their lawyer there, their lawyer might be handling all the wrongful death stuff. but also he can speak on their behalf. That's the neat thing, and that's what he did at the end. That was him speaking. He could speak on their behalf. You know, he's there to help them get through this. He's not emotionally involved, so he's always going to be able to get it done. So that's why he's there. Multiple reasons. Was it if 41% of officers were aware of DV committed by other officers? No, but that's really bad too. That's really bad as well. So, oh, you're in Dublin? Okay, well, there you go. Yeah, basically the victim's representation. Yeah, and anybody's allowed, like, you know, under victims' bills of rights, they are allowed to have that under what's called Marsy's law in many states. But ultimately, even if the victims' rights laws didn't exist, they have the right to have an attorney. That's not uncommon throughout history. You know, attorneys being retained to address things. I've been that guy before a couple of times. You know, you're able just to show up and you can kind of cut through the bull crap. You know, because otherwise, I have to rely on the person for the prosecutor's office, and that may not be always available because they're busy talking to other people. Excuse me. It's 6 in Bucharest. Okay, well, it's 5 in... I don't know. Do I look like I know the time in Europe? So, let's see here. Winter Soldier's just saying, like, take my money. Yes, just like voiceover Pete. Calling all gamers. John Wick needs your help. So take your credit card and type in the numbers on the front, and then type in the numbers on the front, the date on the bottom, and then that 3-digit code on the back. Type it all in to help John Wick get that epic victory royale. I wish I could speak like voiceover Pete. He lives in Florida too. He's still alive too, surprisingly. So your house is shaking from the thunder. Oof, be careful. And hold on one second, guys. Sorry about that. Had to do something off screen there. The foot infraction for walking around in Clyde P. Yeah, that's... Oh, it's 6 in your mom. Well, I guess. Well, my dad's going to be surprised about that one. 4 p.m. in Dublin. Sunny with a chance of beer drinking. Well, there you go. There you go. Let's see. Did I get everybody else here? Did I catch every other thing? I think I got everything. I know, and guys, this is the problem. I will say, ultimately, going back to plea deals, they are not pleasant. They're tough. They're always tough. And yeah, it's this, no matter what it is, it's never going to bring him back. So, and while he may have done all those things to that, to Christian Obumseli's mother, that's her baby. To my mom, I'm always her, I'm her first, I'm her oldest, regardless of what I do. So for this family, they're still missing somebody. But Courtney, she gets out in 2 years, so that's, she'll be out before you know it. Mad Chatter said, I just want on record, I think the family got felted. I mean, a bit, but they got felted because of Christian's own actions. If Christian hadn't done all the things that he did, they probably would have gone to trial. So he felted them himself. He felted their reputation himself. Yes, any day now. Yeah. That's very, very true. Very true. Very true. Let's see. What do you guys think? I'll take a blizzard any day of cooking and swampy. Oh, yeah. Tenox says, I hate that reasoning that it will never bring them back. Well, it won't. It won't bring them back. But this is the best we can do, is giving some sort of justice or semblance. And Stacy, what do you mean that she had more? I don't know what you mean by that, but yeah, she's doing OnlyFans. How's the Greer lawsuit going? It's still languishing in the 10th Circuit, so not a whole lot of updates there. There's a lot of Ethan Klein updates though, and hopefully we can get to those this weekend. That'll be fun to do. Also, chat real quick. If you guys are new, I'm an attorney. I'm an attorney out of Ohio. Talk about legal stuff here, and every Thursday night, in addition to all the stuff we do during the week, we have a show every Thursday night, cover like all the other like little legal topics that aren't on its own warranted enough to discuss on its own show. We do them on a Thursday night show. It's a lot of fun. You should come by and see it Thursday night at 9:30 Eastern. I highly recommend it. And as of right now, in the evenings, we are handling the Lindsay Clancy murder trial. And we'll be continuing that tonight as well. Actually, yeah. Well, no, it all depends. We may have to push that back a day. I don't know. We're gonna have to see because I got to take 2.0 to a thing. She's going to a work event. It's a couple days. It's weird because their company's doing a retreat, and they're headquartered down here, but they have so many people from all over the country. They're doing like their big thing, and it's like, I guess it's because everybody else to come to Florida, so I have to go drive her to it. I'm taking her there for a couple of days. It's like, I brought you to Florida so you wouldn't have to go to these anymore, but we're doing that. So I'll be here. I don't know what time I'll be back, so we'll see. Actually, you know what we will do? We'll do more Lindsay Clancy tonight. I just want to see the Dr. Tufts cross-examination mainly. So, yes, and then yes, the Corey Richards case, they tried to drag her husband through the mud. Now imagine how bad it would have been with evidence of DV actually being committed. Yeah, yep. John Johnson says, do you think it's because of his actions, no degree of gender differentiated sentencing? I mean, certainly. Think about it like this. If Christian had said, oh my God, she was attacking me and I fucking stabbed her, what do you think is going to happen? Like, Christian's standing there and he's like, look, guys, I had to take, he's like, Christian walks in and he goes, look, officer, I had to take this and I had to stab it and I had to tickle her spleen with this. And I just ran her right through. No pun intended, even though he's like, I've done that before. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You get me, you hear me? No, this is not going to be, no, he would not be, he would have been charged with murder. They wouldn't have even offered a plea deal. They would have gone to trial because even if Courtney had been abusing him, he wouldn't have gotten this kind of a deal. He'd have been getting life and he'd have pled out all right because he ain't going to win a trial. Because there ain't no jury that's convicted him. Remember, these are the two of them. Like, it's just the nature of the game. Do you think they're gonna acquit him because Courtney beat up on him? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. At all. So, yeah, there are gender differences. And would the judge have agreed to it? If they had came to an agreement with that, I'm sure the judge would have accepted whatever they brought to her. But I don't think the prosecutor ever makes the argument to start. Very good question, though. And yes, there are times where you play the race card. There are times you play the gender card. I've had clients who are gay and LGBT, and guess what? We play that card. You play whatever card you have in your deck to maximize things for your client. So is it really your birthday? Yes, August 10th. It is my birthday. So, and now I'm practicing. I had a hearing set for 11 that got continued. So, sending all my birthday wishes a voicemail repeatedly is hilarious. They're not birthday wishes. It's actually people calling for different things. different people calling for different crap here. And actually, I need to take this. They're going to blow up my freaking voicemail and be goobers about it. Hold on here, chat. If you like pina coladas. There we go. Clear up space on the voicemail, too. Unhung Hero for $2 says, "Oh, I'm going to come. Happy birthday." Well, thank you. Thank you very much, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. This ain't the modeling channel, yes. Let's see here. What else we got? I'm turning into a hitman. I wish I was. I'd get paid a lot more. What if the Tootsies had these kind of blades to defend themselves? Well, yeah, that's... Matt says, nice letter opener. Yeah, it's a pattern 1907 bayonet for an SMLE. So it's really nice. It's better than the actual... I like it. It's nice and long. You got to have the long bayonet. The long bayonet is really the based one. Longer, the better. I play LGBT cards. Yes, you do. Don't let Joe from Tactical Wisdom see that bayonet. Joe would love that bayonet. Joe likes bayonets. Joe's a good man. You guys get a chance, go subscribe to Joe over at Tactical Wisdom. Buy his books. Robert Lawrence been a member for 41 months. And those numbers, guys, themselves, the numbers are alone are humbling, the length of time. So thank you all for being here. You guys have been here, after all. It's like the song goes, after all that we've been through. Can you still call this love? I don't know what you call it, but yes. Yes, you play all the cards you can. You do everything you can to help your client. And lean on it. You like to, like whatever you can to maximize. As long as it's within the rules and it doesn't get you arrested, yeah, you should be doing it. Karen has been a member for 16 months, says, happy birthday, Sean, attorney extraordinaire. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And then Robert Lawrence for 5 subs. Another chat, another awoo from our favorite dog, Clyde. I'll see if I can grab him real quick. Hold on. Let me see if he's here. Let's see. Get the door open. See if he'll come in. Clyde. Clyde. Come here, Bubber. Come here, Pupperkins. Come on. Come on. He's just standing in the doorway like, what do you want, fat man? Clyde, come here. Clyde, I got treats for you. You want a treat? Look what I got. Come here, buddy. Oh, come here. Come on. Come on, Clyde. Hey, a treat? Come on. You better come get it. And where are you going? Where are you going? Asshole dog. I gave him a treat. And he's like, thank you. He puts it in his mouth and just walked out the door. Such is life, chat. Such is life. That's life. Some people say you're getting ignored by your dog every other day. 500 Scotty says, what's up? How you doing? Hope you're doing well out there. Yes, Joe would put a bayonet on a bayonet. He really likes bayonets, yes. So, no, guys, you don't have to worry about, like, this isn't a gun. We can show this. It's, like, we can have guns. We can't touch them, but this, I can have this on screen. It's a knife. And no, I don't have a license for this knife, but this is the pattern 1907 bayonet. But no, this is YouTube's not going to cancel me for this, even if I'm waving it around like. Go into Ox, go into High Guard, or Vontag. We can actually do the Plow Guard. We can do the Plow Guard from let me see. Wait, Sean knows Meyer? A little bit of Meyer. I don't know Fiore or Paul's Hector Mayer, though. I know Meyer. That'll be DSP card packs opening, Grift. LGBT card pack openings. Let's see here. 51 subs for 51 years. No, it's 41 subs for 41 years. I'm only 41 today. I'm in 85, baby. Unhung Hero for 10 subs. Let's go, chat. Big support. We still got more streaming to do later. But, guys, remember, when you guys make people green and get memberships, you are crushing the grays. And something like a big robot, you need to think of Clyde the dog. He's doing his woos. It looks like this. He's such a good boy, even when he's crushing the grays. But you see what this means, chat? If you're gray, this means not welcome. See what this means. Tech Guy Stout's been a member for 17 months. It's happy birthday, Sandwich Man. Well, thank you. Thank you. Clyde Chad stay winning. Of course, Clyde. Torgo says, you dummy, you don't give the treat first. Well, he wouldn't even come in the room. He's like, what do you want, fat man? He's like, I was sleeping. He had his bedhead face on where his hair is all smushed up. He's like, what do you want? So I got to make it worth his while. So let's see here. Popcorn Power says, what did she take the plea to? Hold on here. I'll type that out. Let me see here. Okay. There we go. I'm sorry. I thought I'd saved all this. Hold on here. Yeah, that's... There we go. We'll just have it going on the bottom. Sorry about that, Popcorn. But yes, she pled out to manslaughter. Is there a suggested sentence announced with the deal? Yes. Plea to 6 years in prison. Stipulated 6-year sentence. She's only got 2 more left. So good day for Courtney. Good day for Courtney at the end of this. Rocky Goon says kick rules. Yeah, kick's not bad. They gotta do better about taking care of things there. You're saying that's okay. A big knife's okay, but a blue plastic gun isn't? Yes. Yes, that is. That is correct. Katie says my dog freaks out every time that's played. Well, there you go. And Obscure Chaos says, how do you like Florida? It's all right. So far, it's a little different. You just have to remember you're not a tourist every time you go do something. So, it's kind of that's gone away, but it's a little different. It's a little different. It's just a new place. It is weird, though. It's a weird feeling. Let's see. She's getting off way too late. Maybe at the end of the day, but when the facts are not in your favor as a prosecutor, you have to balance that out, and the facts were not in their favor. So, Jefferson Post says Ronnie McNutt didn't sign off with a bayonet. Yes. Well, there you go. Let's see here. Is it hot? Yes, it's very hot. Nurse Ladybird says, are you watching Kick Chat? Yes, I am. Yes, I am watching Kick Chat. I have it going. I'm over here looking. Rocket Goon sent a skull emoji for 50 kicks. Nurse Ladybird for 500 kicks says, happy birthday. Thank you. And that's why, because I have the sub thing up top and it took them all up. Sorry. My apologies there. Why is this? Kicks chat is very. If Eddie wants to work on something, make it a little easier, kind of like how YouTube keeps stuff organized. So thank you. Oh, what? Did I miss something? Oh, people are. Oh, magistrate's orders came out on a case I have. Oh. Let's see. Okay. Well, there we go. Sorry. It's just that was an interesting case that I'm on. Got the thing. Pretty much everything popcorn, yeah. The Martin household is far too husky and furry for a 78-degree environment. That is the weird thing, I will say. That is so cool. Like, just, our thermostat was set for 78, and it's like, it feels nice. Although last night I was really hot when I tried to go to sleep, and I was like, we had to turn it down to 76, which was still hot. It's not showing in the history. Well, I don't know the full. I don't fully know how to use Kick yet. Like, I'm still boomering this out. It's still something I need to. It's still something I need to learn because it's not. It's not the most intuitive. Not the most intuitive to learn. And I could tell you that much at least. Let's see here. And there we go. Let's see. What else we got? So she got 6 years. What is her time served? 4. And it's actually 4 years today. 4 years ago today is the date of her arrest when she was in Hawaii at a rehab facility. So she's been in custody for about 4 years straight now. So 2 more years. 2 more years. And that's funny because the universe be funny like that sometimes. So she's got to serve 2 more, but yeah, she is 2/3 of the way to being done, which is not a bad thing. Not a bad thing when you're already at this point. It makes it easier to get people to plea because it's like, look, you're already almost done anyway. So yeah, she was accepting that plea, and good on her for taking it. It's not a bad plea at all. It's a very good deal. I'd take that deal. And almost every client I know would probably take that deal. So every client I know would take that deal. Oh, camera froze. Uh-oh. Hold on, chat. Hold on. There we go. We got it fixed. Hold on. We're fixing it. Fixed. Look at how fast 4 years went by. I'm sure it was an agonizingly slow 4 years. Why is it with Twitch graphics? Because StreamYard has 2 other types of cameras. You can set up the OBS virtual camera as a thing or your Twitch virtual cam. Or if you have a camera, set up camera. So that's why. It always freezes at the worst time ever. Yes. Very, very true. Very true. It does. So. But yes, I did want to say, Nurse Lady Bird, if you did not hear me, thank you for your kicks. Jeff would have been so pissed at this result. I don't know. I think Jeff would have thought it's very interesting how this unfolded. I think he would have been very interested in how this unfolded at this point. Camera ban cameras, yes. But no, I have the Insta360. It's actually a really good camera. It's the reason why I could do the desk view right away. Jeff would have been pleased that Stabarella would have been back to gooning. Yes, I think she would have. I think he would have too. I think Jeff would have respected that she can go back out and continue on her work of gooning and helping men, goon. Which, remember, don't goon, chat. But yes, there's so much Jeff would have been covering with that. Yes, because he was very big on Courtney Clenney. He was bullish on it and covering it. So, yes, do not goon. I know, chat. Do not goon.
I'm done shilling the CIA propaganda. Never goon!
That's right. Never goon, indeed. What is gooning? Karen, I think you're going to have to go Google on the internet what's gooning there. That's a bit of a subject. You're going to have to go ask an adult. Yes, I'm going to goon. Sad. Yes. You say Urban Dictionary is not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Yes, an adult. Don't ask me. Very true. Very true. Brewberry says Jeff is probably pissed. His last video was reading Sarah Boone's full unedited sentencing statement. No, I think he enjoyed that because Sarah Boone is crazy. Sarah Boone was crazy. Jordan Bemke says it's an adult relaxation technique for men. Technically, women can goon too. So it's not just men. Yeah, ladies goon as well. Yeah, he was mad for Boone. He went out with style. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, he was all about that. It wasn't like it was a boring thing. Like, it was a thing. I mean, I think a lot of us would agree, like, had he been standing there and, like, shoved Sarah Boone into the Grim Reaper's arms or tricked, Death into thinking, he made Courtney Clenney wear a Jeff costume and took her instead, I'm sure we'd want that. And I wish that would have happened, but it didn't, sadly. So, yeah, Jeff was great with his cigars, his whiskey, and his doggos. Yep, and apparently they're still doing okay over there. Strawberry Noda, those are, hopefully those dogs are doing okay. I think they were, but I'm hoping they're still all right. He was so worked up over how crazy she was, it might have ticked the stress levels. No, he was going out to have fun. He went out to, like, go meet people and was going to party and have a nice time and have a nice weekend and just, yeah. So he went on top, chat. He went out on top. So never a bad way. Who has the dogs now? His vet has them. Because I guess it was hard to find a place that would house both of them together. Oh, people said the dogs died recently? Oh. I know for a while they'd been living with the vet because the vet was the only place they could go. Connor said they died? Like, from what? Like, being old? Oof. Oof. That's no good. Bulldogs don't live long? Really? They don't live long? Dang, that sucks. Did not know that. Oh, people are like, you guys are saying, like, no, they don't live forever. I'm like, that's a bummer. That's a bummer. So I guess, yeah, that's a shame. That is a true shame. So, well, guys, that is it for Courtney Clenney. She is golfed. There are going to be no appeals. She's going to do her 2 years. She's going to come out. She's going to OnlyFans. And yes, in prison, guys have access to phones. So it won't surprise me if we'll start seeing, it's easier in prison than jail. We're going to start seeing Courtney doing her click, 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 pose, strike pose, strike pose. Slay it, girl. We're going to get all that soon. I think it's going to be great for this. We're going to get some good results out of this, though. We're going to get some good footage of Courtney Clenney in prison being a hoe. Remember, at the end of the day, for OnlyFans, she is a hoe. And as the meme goes, whoever did that, your mom's a hoe. Prison fans, yes. Yes. She still got smaller titties than me. Yeah, she does. She does. And that's her problem. That's her curse. That's her curse. You're saying obscure chaos that she's going to hate Florida Department of Corrections. Well, we'll see. We will see. With that said, chat, only inmates. All right, chat. With that said, we are going to wrap up here. We are going to be back later tonight. Like I said, I got to take 2.0 out and take her out to her thing that she has to go to. So I don't know what time we'll be back, but it probably won't be till about 8 or so. I'll know a little more coming up as we go. But yes, guys, the Courtney Clenney saga is officially over. It is done. Except for maybe them trying to go after her OnlyFans money. We'll see. We'll see. But there we go, guys. Sometimes this is how it goes. It's bittersweet. Sometimes it's very, very uneventful. Sometimes there's no catharsis. I think we can agree this was hardly a cathartic, controlled thing. So with that said, chat, I will see you until next time. Thank you all for being here. I truly appreciate it. Welcome if you're new. And remember, until next time, just because you did it does not mean you're guilty. Although Courtney pled guilty, so she is guilty. So, good luck, Courtney. Get out and, make it big on OnlyFans or whatever the next big thing is at that point. I don't know. We'll find out together, chat. Take care. Good afternoon, everybody.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting, and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops, even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty, but please talk to a local attorney. Was that the fat guy Rick hated yelled at? Why, yes it was, he even knows he's fat. For all this fun and more, there's one place to go, here on Sean Martin's Potentially Criminal Show.
Members of the public, I do apologize for the language that was just used. The statements that he's made, good or bad, do not necessarily reflect the views of anybody around this horseshoe, any staff, or the city. We appreciate your patience. This is a regular occurrence, and we do apologize.